Mustafa, and I was born in Iraq, 1998.
What was the situation that you faced in Iraq?
So I think, from what I remember, I was young. So the war started when I was like maybe 3 to 4 years old, and I was living north in northern Iraq, and there was army, USA Army or British Army, and base. They had a base like right next to our house, and like they were friendly at the beginning, really friendly. Like if we go out somewhere, we come back and then they'd give us food, school supplies, and like until 2005, all I remember was a helicopter hovering over my house and me and my family jumping into the fence. And then we moved to Baghdad. Grandma had a house there. And I went there, saw my grandma. Traveled to Jordan. And then I stayed with my family. Stayed in her house. We also had war during that year in Baghdad. But it wasn't that serious, but I've heard like there was a lot of bombing next to us. There was a really close one, and one day me and my friend were in the house, and then a bomb exploded, and then the windows blew off and almost hit my dad. So I was thankful. And in 2008, October 2008, I moved to Syria because there was too many trouble back in Baghdad and Iraq.
You mentioned that you lived in Syria for 5 years. What was that like?
As I say, there was nothing going on until 2011 when they started with those strikes against the government, and they started with the war. I was with the government because they didn't do anything bad, like the same areas. The whole city liked it when we go like walks and a lot of arguments with people on who's president. So I lived there for almost a year and a half after the war started. No, 2 years after the war started. And actually, there wasn't anything bad. One car exploded, and that's it. But the whole city surrounded was really well taken over by the people that are against the government. Until that, we moved to USA and to Minnesota.
How were you able to make it to the United States?
As I mentioned, my grandma moved to Jordan, and she applied for an organization or a program, you can say, is called UNICEF, and UNICEF helped her get to the United States. She lived in Dakota, and then she called us. She was like, this is a really good program. You should go to Syria and then join. So the reason I went to Syria is because of the war and because of the program that my grandma mentioned about. So we went to Syria and then signed up for that program. And almost 5 years later, through that program and my grandma, because my grandma helped us through the program. If you have somebody from your relative living outside or in the USA, it could be easier to move to USA through that organization. So after almost 5 years, we got rejected once, and we continued again, and then they accepted us, and then we float all the way to USA.
I interview Elizabeth Ross, a refugee resettlement worker at the International Institute of Minnesota.
My name is Elizabeth Ross, and I'm a case manager working at the International Institute of Minnesota in St. Paul, and I work in the refugee resettlement and have been here for over 5 years. And our job is to welcome refugees and immigrants to this country and help make their lives successful.
What is the International Institute of Minnesota's overall goal?
Our goal is to help refugees and immigrants, to welcome them to this country and help make their lives in this country a success, and help pave the way for them and show them how to become self-sufficient.
Exactly what do you do for this organization?
I work in the refugee resettlement department, and I work as a case manager. So we have refugees arriving almost daily to the Institute, and last year we resettled over 430 refugees. And this year it'll be about the same, around 400. And what we do in resettlement is we greet them at the airport, we set up an apartment or a home for them to live in. We purchase all of the goods that they need to live in that home, kitchen and furniture, kitchen equipment, furniture, food. We buy groceries for them to get them settled and started once they arrive so that they're comfortable. And then from there, case managers also apply for a Social Security card for them, get them settled into English classes, get the children enrolled in school, and also make sure that they're signed up for benefits until they get a job. And what we do is the goal is for them to be self-sufficient as Americans, as new Americans. And so we try to just guide them on that path and show them and connect them with services so that they can move forward in their new lives.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or conclude the interview with?
I would say that Minnesota is quite a welcoming place for refugees.
Definitely.
Yes, and we have a strong history of that, going back now about 40 years. And so when we started welcoming refugees here in the late 1970s from Southeast Asia, through mostly at the time churches, and then the program has evolved so that now there are 5 agencies in the state of Minnesota that welcome refugees.
Very cool.
One of which the International Institute is a partner with. We're in partnership with the federal government, so we're in partnership with the State Department and Homeland Security to welcome new refugees to this country. And it's a wonderful program because it's a humanitarian program, and there's such a great need right now. There are more refugees in the world than there have ever been. The number is as great as it was after World War II. So the need is quite extreme right now. And every day in the news you will see stories about refugees. And just this morning there was a story about this horrible story about refugees from Burma trying to go to on a boat, trying to find refuge somewhere and being turned away. So the fact that the United States welcomes refugees, and that Minnesota in particular does that, and then provides wonderful services and education and job opportunity for refugees, is why I'm really happy to be doing this work.
It's awesome,
Yes.